welcome to the Beginner's Collage course. This is video 4, lesson 3, and it's all about masterboards. Want to know what a masterboard is, how to create one, and what to use them for? We'll go over all of this and more. Hello everyone, I'm Jennifer. Thank you for stopping by and joining me today. I'm so happy to have you here. As I said in the intro, today's video is all about masterboards. It's going to be such a fun video for your collages. If you're a junk journaler, you'll also get some really fun ideas to use items in your junk journal, because you're going to be taking scraps that we have around in our paper crafting drawers. We're going to take those out. We're going to build a 12 by 12 masterboard. We're going to talk about the rule of thirds and how that the rule of thirds helps us with placement in our collages. It could also help us with placement in our masterboards as well, because masterboards are a little bit different than a collage, and they're used in a different way than collage is used, but you do collage to create them. So this is going to be a really fun video. Come along with me and join me at my desk.
What is a masterboard? A masterboard is just a piece of collage that you take your scraps. It could be scraps that you have laying around. A lot of times I do enjoy using up my scraps to turn them into something else, so I'm not just throwing away perfectly good pieces of paper. But even that can become overwhelming at times. So don't by any means save every little scrap a piece of paper to collage with. Some things you can toss out. That's what I've been telling myself anyways. So they could be any size. Here I have one that is 8.5 by 11. I recently did this one at the beginning of the week, I believe, just for funsies. I went thrifting and picked up a really fun paper pad. And one of the pages, or a couple of these pages, had like really fun elements that you can go ahead and fussy cut out, which is what I like to do. So I went ahead and fussy cut out all kind of different shapes. I think these were supposed to be some type of leaves, and then these are flowers. So I just collaged my background pages, and then I went ahead with contrasting pages on top to give it some contrast and pop. And then I went ahead and did some stamping in like the mid-ground layer. And then for the top layer, I went ahead and put all my different little elements around in different positions. And I used the rule of thirds to help me place my items on my background. So an easy way you could do that, which the rule of thirds is just the placement of your focal points to create balance. And there's the way they created this rule of thirds, I don't remember who figured it out, but it mimics the way your eye naturally scans an image. So what we're going to do is you could either draw this in, you could visualize it. I usually visualize it, but I've recently learned a lot of people cannot visualize things in their minds. So this is an easy trick for those of you that can't visualize easily in your mind. Get some paper strips. We only need 4, or you can draw lines on your collage if you'd like, but I don't recommend that because then you might have to erase it and you might not want those marks. So I would just suggest using some strips of paper you have laying around. They don't have to be equal sizes or anything. We need 4. We're going to place 2 vertically, and we want to make sure we just place them to where we make equal. We're going to make 9 equal boxes. So these seem pretty equal sections here. Then I'm coming with my 3rd piece of paper, and we might have to adjust this a little bit, and then the 4th piece horizontally. And we want to make it to where each of these boxes are pretty much the same. It's okay if you're off by a little bit. So since this mimics the way your eye visually scans an image, it's not recommended when using the rule of thirds that you center something right in the middle of your image. So for like a regular collage, no, I wouldn't recommend just centering it right in the middle. But for a masterboard, you can break that rule and put a placement of items in the center. Now, why is that different from a collage masterboard? Because masterboards, we're going to be cutting them up into individual items for junk journaling, for note cards, for pockets, tucks, anything you could think of to embellish a journal, or even gift cards, note cards. They could be toppers for those things and backgrounds, pages for your journals. all that can come from one masterboard or several masterboards. Whereas a collage, you wouldn't necessarily cut up your collage to use it in items. You want to keep your collages whole as art pieces. A masterboard, you can use the rules of collage in your masterboards, but they don't always need to apply. So for this one, we are going to ignore the rule of not placing your items in the center for your rule of thirds, and we're going to break that rule. And I put items in the center because when I cut this up, I could cut it up to where maybe this won't be in the center of one of the items like I have here. Because I went ahead and printed this one. I scanned it, printed it, cut it down to tags. Then I embellished these. They're a wider tag. And I just simply put just a couple little things on top. Everything else is the masterboard. And these are large journaling cards. They could be toppers for a thank you card or any kind of little greeting card. That would be super cute too. They could make great note cards. Here's another one. I just popped up these little paper doll guys on top, and that looks fantastic because there's like a little, looks like a ledge they're sitting on here, and it's actually just a strip of paper. So those are some ideas of what you could turn your masterboards into. And we're going to go through and create a masterboard together as well with the rule of thirds. So here I visualized my rule of thirds, and you're supposed to use the lines and add the objects like on the lines or like near where the lines intersect. But those aren't like hard rules. I did want to make it to where when I cut my masterboard, I would have little pieces of each of these in. So with my masterboards, I use the rule of thirds to just help me decide where I want to place my objects once they're cut. So I kind of have to visualize, maybe I want this top strip here, and maybe I want those to be tags, and maybe I want the center strips here to be journaling cards, and maybe once I cut the bottom here, these could be note cards or something a little bit different. You can use them as tucks, as pockets, all sorts of things. So that this way with the grid here, it helps you kind of visualize when you cut it where each element is going to be on what piece you cut out, if that makes sense. Did I say that correctly? It's been a hell of a week, you guys. My brain has been going all sorts of directions. So much going on. So I hope I'm being like clear today. So that's that. It's really simple. Like, it's not really a hard thing to get a grasp of. The rule of thirds is really easy. So let's do a collage together, or a masterboard. I'm sorry. Let's create a masterboard together by collaging with some of the scraps that I used to create this one. I still had some left over that I cut. And then just some papers from that same paper pack to kind of bring in the colors. And then I'm going to cover up all this paper because this is a big 12 by 12 page that I'm never going to use, that I've been having in my stash forever. So I'm just going to cover this base layer with book pages first. And then I'll continue with my, with my other pages. And then once we get to putting the items, the little loose items on one by one, we'll start to use our rule of thirds to help us decide where we want to place them and where they'll end up after we cut it. All right. Let's see. So have you guys been working on your collage projects? Let me know in the description. I always say that. Let me know in the comment section. How's it going? Are you guys having issues? Or you have any questions? Don't be afraid to reach out and ask. I probably should be sealing this too on top. To be completely honest, that was the plan. And now that I'm recording, I totally forgot I wanted to do that. And I didn't get my glue watered down, and I didn't grab a paintbrush. So I'm just going to make sure I glue this down really, really good, because you do not want any of your layers coming up at all. So you can do the watered down glue method, which I've done many times for my masterboards. It's equal parts water, equal parts just Elmer's school glue and old paintbrush, and you paint over, not paint over, but you apply the glue with your paintbrush nice and thin. You put your paper down, and then you take that same glue and glue brush and go over the top with it completely, and then you let it, like once you do that to the whole background, you let the whole thing dry, and then you could come in and add your extras and stuff on top and do the same thing with those as well. So it does take a little bit longer because you have to wait for the glue mixture to dry, but it really does help seal in your pages so they don't lift, especially because we're going to be cutting this up into different sections. You really, really want to make sure this paper is glued down everywhere, and you want to make sure you go from the center of your page out, all different directions. Turn the paper. You want that glue just to get everywhere. It's a lot easier when you water down your glue and just paint it on with a paintbrush. Then it gets a nice thin layer everywhere. When I'm doing it this way, it's a little bit harder. That's why I'm using like this tool to kind of push down the glue. And I'm feeling like that's stuck down pretty good. I can't believe I forgot. I kept reminding myself, and I totally forgot that step. That's because I got a lot of things I got to go do today too. It's Friday. It's usually when I do my recordings for Sundays, and because I just schedule it, so I have the weekends free. But I try to plan it out ahead of time, you know, and get all my stuff set up so I have it right where I need it. And this week I am just off. My bad, you guys. Now I feel bad. Might have to do we're just gonna have to do a whole new video. Not a whole new one, but like a video on sealing, I guess. We'll just dedicate a whole video to maybe sealing our collages and masterboards the proper way. So I do want you guys to know how to do that. I'm supposed to do it today. My bad. Alright, so now I have the background done. I don't care about that little piece right there. We can cover that up with other things. So let me get out my little pieces. I want my big chunks. Alright, we have some greens, we have some blues. What do we want to do? I want to stick a hole in here, maybe. Maybe rip these up. Maybe put one here. Maybe we put one here. I don't mind this being in the middle because it's going to get cut up different ways anyway. Okay, so maybe this one, we just stick certain ways. Maybe put a little piece down here. Is that too big? I think that's too big. So you got a smaller one here. I'm going to try to keep it balanced a little. Maybe if I turn, you know what? I might turn this one this way. Have this one coming down like that. I think I want this to go long ways. So that when I cut it. Okay, let's glue these down real quick. And then we'll have some fun with the placement. I love masterboards, you guys. They're so fun. This is like the one time, well, besides glue books you could break the rules too. The one time you get to like just create to create. And if you want to have it balanced and cohesive, you can use all the rules in it if you like to, all the artsy rules, but you don't have to. So we're just going to play around with shape and color. I really liked how that masterboard came out the other day. So I saved them just so we can create with them together. I thought it'd be so fun. Again, we want to make sure we have glue everywhere. All right. Almost there with the glue in. I love this blue. These colors are just gorgeous. I like this blue. It's pretty green. I'm not even really a fan of red, but this is like pinkish. type of red. It's really pretty. And it has these beautiful florals on the background. This green one has like leaves. And you don't have to stick these all the way to the edge of the paper either. You can leave a little white there. This is just a great way to relax too. A lot of times I would just sit down with a whole bag because I keep some of my scraps in Ziploc bags. So I'll just break out one of my Ziploc bags of scraps, sit down and collage the background, and then make a big old master board with all my scraps. And you would think it would come out like weird and disconnected, but it doesn't. They come out gorgeous. All right, let's see. Let's try doing our rule of thirds here. See if we can maybe just help us place a few of these items. I'm going to make 9 equal boxes. Okay, that's about equal. Let's see, and then we have all types of like these little pieces too. I wonder if we stuck something like this way. Then we'll have a little bit of that in it. We'll have some of this, and we'll have a little bit of red in that one little frame. I like that. Let's do, this is too thick. We could always rip it. You can even place it behind where it's going from one frame to another frame. I think this would look good here. Let's see. This black on this green. Wait. Do this green with the blue. Have it come through maybe like that. How would this look? Break that up a little bit. Let's see some more pieces. What we have. Well, let's heavy with those. Let's put this here maybe, and have this one. I'm gonna break this one up too. Just rip it in half. Let's see, maybe put that one something like that. And then I could still come in. This could be up here. Right. Maybe this comes in somewhere right here. Maybe that's like that. Okay. So I'm gonna start gluing those down. And you could take your little grid off if you want. I'm just leaving that on as a guide for you guys to see kind of how I'm doing it. I'm gonna slip it under. And this was somewhere right here. Kind of wanted it to overlap that blue. Okay, I'm gonna take these off now because they're starting to get in my way. Keep that there. There we go. Oh, I love those together. I love that brown too. The brown looks actually really nice. I'm not a fan of brown much. I'll go here. Gotta have this one going here. Put that one there. Make sure I get this whole, it's hard to get this 12 by 12 in frame. You could even place it different directions like that if you want to get all fancy and different. Sometimes I like my lines going all the same way. I'm just going to make sure I have enough glue on them. Don't want them coming up. All right. Oh, look, we even have a couple more little pieces. Maybe we layer them something like this. And maybe we do something like, or maybe over here. Or maybe we do here. Well, let's see, because we have our other, I do like that one there, though. I'm going to do that. Put this one on here. No, I don't want, there's too many of these together over here. Maybe I'll stick it right here. It doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it up, so they're not going to be close to each other anyways. Duh, Jennifer. Use your brain. Okay. Now I kind of want to bring these back on just to help give us an idea. All right, so now we have our little pieces we could put on top. Some leaves and flowers. I think this needs a bright orange, and maybe we come in like this with it. Ooh, I like that. What about up here? You can come in, and since we're cutting this in a masterboard, I also like to put them in like right on the lines where when you cut it, you might get half on this panel, half on that one. Do the same thing down here with this green and blue. This will look nice. We put that one maybe there. Get another leaf. I'm just gonna stick that right there. Blue. Oh, we need like a red one here. Might cut that in half. You know what? Because we got this big one here. What if we put this one here? Put a couple little blue ones like that in there. Oh, and then we need something here. This big green one, and maybe I'll put this green one there. Then we have one more left over, since I might put this one a little over more to that panel. Oh, I think those are going to look cute when we cut them out. So let's glue these down. And try to remember how I had it. Did I have it this way? I think so. Oh well, that's what we're doing. Careful. Don't want to shift my stuff around. Trying to remember and keep it in place. You know what? I didn't break out my stamps either. But you don't have to use stamping or anything. That would really make it into a mixed media masterboard once you add stamping, because it's a different medium than paper. And I think we're doing mixed media next week. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Let's put this. I wanted that to kind of go like that. I'm not gonna take these off now. We're just gonna kind of sort of place them where I have them. I'm gonna go back and make sure these are all nice and glued down in a minute. All right. Go ahead and burnish these down. I'm sorry about all the interruptions. My phone keeps binging. I forgot to put do not disturb on. Oops. It is the theme of the week. Me forgetting everything. Alright, these feel all nice and stuck on. Go ahead and let your glue dry before you cut it up. Okay, I think I'm gonna cut it this way first. And if you have a paper trimmer, it might work if it's not too thick. If you have a heavy duty, like guillotine, I have one. That'll work real good. But it's hard for me to cut on my guillotine because it only goes up to like 9, and this is a 12 by 12. So it makes it kind of difficult. So I'm just gonna kind of use the lines on my masterboard and the words in the background. And you saw how it kind of, if it's bubbling up, see this bubbling up? That's because I didn't get glue everywhere like I should have. I can't believe I forgot to do my mixture. That would have totally taken care of that. Okay, so now we have our strips. Let's think about what we want. We can make some tags. Let's do tags with the top part. How many tags? You can make this whole strip of tag, like into several different tags. I think we could do, let's do slim tags, maybe some little mini ones. Okay, we got some slim ones there. Do a little bit thicker. And I think I'm gonna save that for like a pocket. So we have, just from that one strip, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tags, a pocket, a journaling card, a tuck, whatever you would like to make that. And so we're simply going to, I think I might like it this way. And I am just going to make my little cuts. And if you have your little hole puncher thing, punch your little hole, put your little ribbons and stuff in it, and then you have a tag. We could go and add another paper to the back. This paper was double-sided, so if you could put like another piece of scrap paper on the back that's not double-sided, and then you could use it to write on the back if you'd like. So you just go through and do the same thing. You could round your corners if you'd like to round your corners. That one's kind of off. Oh, recut. There we go. That's the fun way to do. You mess up, you could just leave it. Now, so you got 3 tags here. You could save this one and make it a little journaling card or a little note card. It's totally up to you. I think my cutting is off just a tad. Cute, cute. So we do that, and then you have all your little tags. So stinking cute. Then we could have this. I like to use my little punch here and make little indentions like so. Now I can use it for a pocket. And then I'd come in and just round my corners and make some look nicer. And then since this is just a background, we could still go ahead and come on top of these and add an extra layer of an embellishment. Like I did here. This one, I just create a tab, and then I took half a butterfly and just glued on half a butterfly. And these are this is one I didn't decorate because I kind of liked how it was just by itself. And then here's one where I added another smaller tag on top and embellished it with this old time little photo. And this one you could actually write on the back. This one too. So the same thing. Maybe I have like ugly card bases like this. I don't really like this design. I think it's ugly. I'm never going to use it as it is. But what I can do is come on and kind of figure out where I would want to cut this or what part of the master board I would like to use. Maybe I like this section here. And I'm just going to eyeball it, and then I'll come and kind of straighten it out after. And see? That would make a really cute card base, and then you can come on top with like a 3D sentiment or even collage sentiments or like words you cut out of magazines and back it up on something and then have it pop up on top. That would be super cute. And then you have a really fun little thank you card or just any kind of card now. So that's an option for those. You could just simply cut them in half right here. Round your corners. And then you have a journaling card. And then you can just embellish it with whatever you like. I wish whoever's messaging me will like stop. Like for real, like they're messing up my video. So here we have another one. And then we still have our long piece of strip here. We can make cut a square. You can make 2 equal triangle tucks. Just cut it end to end. And here we have, where's my little thing? This could be a tuck at the top, and then this could be a tuck at the bottom, top, side tucks. Many different ways, but those are so cute because then you could just stick your little tags in, stick your journaling cards in, and boom. So stinking cute. And this pocket would look like this on a sheet. And of course, you just go in the top and stuff all your stuff in the top. So there's so many ideas of ways to cut these down and create with them. You could cut this one down long ways here, make 2 separate bookmarks. That would be really cute. You could save this whole piece and just glue it down onto a journaling page because it really has this really nice opening right here. And you could go ahead and maybe put a photo here or something. That would be super sweet in a junk journal. So I just love this. I love masterboards. I hope you love masterboards, and I hope you've got inspiration to like create some and cut them up and create whatever kind of embellishments you love to make.
So last week I had a hidden giveaway, and the winner to that giveaway is Stace with the answer of 3, which is exactly correct. There was a couple people who were almost there, but she hit the nail right on the head. I said cockeyed twice, and then I said cocked once, for a total of 3 together. So congratulations, Stace. Go ahead and email me at scrapbooksandmemories@gmail.com, and I will send you 2 free digital collages of mine that I created, given to you for free. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's been a heck of a week. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. And I hope you join me next week for another collage course video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.